Good luck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Addicts podcast. I'm your host, Brando, right along with this podcast player 2, Mike.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. This is the first episode of the new year, 2017.
That it
so
is.
This is the first new episode going up on our own separate feed. We've grown up. We have now officially moved out of the house.
I don't say we moved out of the house. Maybe moved from, like, the bedroom next to your parents down to the basement, or maybe to the garage.
Or maybe that badass room above the garage that has its own stairway to go outside. Yeah, dude. And also, this is if you're watching this, I mean, because usually we're all available audio on iTunes, Podbean app, Stitcher, Google Play Music, everywhere that you can digest podcasts. This podcast is now at.
Now at.
Yes, we are now available to be listened to.
You made it in the form of a question. It was like, now at.
Well, okay, we're not playing Personal Jeopardy, but now we are testing out.
Trebek.
Yeah, we are now testing out video, and hopefully it works out pretty well. This is very primitive. This is you know what? It's the camera we have. It's the setup we have. This room is not the best for doing it, but it can be done just by cramming in and just moving a few things around. But this is the first episode of the Game Addicts for 2017, and the whole point was just to kind of get this podcast on its own. And as long as all the things kind of fall into place, we're going to be doing this like once a week.
Yeah.
Instead of like once a month, twice a month. So next week we have a pretty loaded episode.
Yes, we do.
And it's going to be pretty crazy. We're going to be talking all about the Nintendo Switch and all that stuff. All the stuff that we learn, all the rumors that are false, all the rumors that are true, all sorts of stuff. But we usually like to start the show with a segment either detailing what games we've been playing or what games we picked up.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, I haven't picked up much lately. You picked up zero?
Zero.
Since the last time we played, since the last time that we've talked. But I have been playing something. And because I have 100% quit playing Final Fantasy 15. I haven't touched it since the last time we talked.
Where did you stop at?
The exact same spot that I stopped before. I haven't even put it in. I refuse.
Well, they did a massive download. I haven't played it either because I've been busy with other stuff. But wait, I have picked up something. No Man's Sky.
See, last time I think you had picked it up. You hadn't tried it yet.
That's right.
But I have not played Final Fantasy 15. Pretty much when you made me watch Kingsglaive, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It did piss me off.
I knew it would.
It really pissed me off. From everyone that I'm hearing of, and seeing online, that 15 is actually a pretty good game. And I will not take anything away from the gameplay. I think it plays great.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think it's a fantastic game. I'm just frustrated with their detail on the story that got released in the $60 version of the game that I bought. And I will not finish the game until they finish the game.
Yeah, I don't know if they finished or not. I haven't really, like I said, I haven't been
following
with it. So I don't know. I know that at chapter 13, the general consent is it sucks. It sucks. And up to this point, I'm on chapter 11. Well, starting chapter 12, and the story is very vague. If you take Kingsglaive out, it is very vague. It is just, hey, you're going here. You didn't even know that you were forced to be married. It was just like, hey, you're going to go meet your betrothed, but no backstory on why you've been betrothed.
Right.
It's just nothing. It's just, hey.
I mean, there's several aspects of Kingsglaive that aren't needed. Like, there's like the whole side story about what's the main character's name? I almost want to call him Kit, but this isn't Knight Rider.
It's another N name. I can't remember.
Knit, Knock. No, that's Knock. Is Nick Knock.
It's not me.
Nick Knack.
Niche or so I don't know. It's another N name. I think he's a much better developed character.
See, I was kind of thinking the same way.
Knock is just kind of like he's a kid. I mean, up to the point I'm at, he's actually he's being forced to grow up, or he has the option to grow up, and he's still struggling with himself to do those, to do so. So, in the movie, it's completely different. That character is just some random character. He's the hero of,
he's
like
the fight. Just a random soldier. He's like a badass soldier. He's almost like Cloud.
Yeah, he is.
Or
he's a bad
Zack, if you will.
Say Zack.
But I mean, he's just a badass soldier in the Kingsglaive.
Everybody knows him because he's done a couple of major deeds, and then he does that, like sticking his neck out to where like he's about ready to die. He should have died, or someone else should have died, and he saved other people. Like, it actually opens up with him saving somebody, and he's like, "Get out of here, hero!" Like they're making fun of him because he's always got to be the hero.
Yeah.
He can't just. He's very selfless. So, and then when you see in the later on, it develops. You see that his character is very strong. Is very, very developed. You get a backstory, and whether it's through slight memories, but you still get a backstory. You get something of him, and then where he's going in the future. And in 15, you don't really get that with Knock. It's just, hey, you're 18. Hey, dude, go out on your own.
I'm the prince, and then suddenly my dad died, but we don't know exactly. What is the Empire? Who is the Empire?
I mean, I know from playing, all the other ones, but. I mean, when I say all the other ones, I mean like the online ones. The Empire is a specific group that cannot harness magic, and so they use.
But I'm talking like within the universe that they built within 15 itself, because every game is its own universe. They have similarities. But what I'm talking about is who and what's the origin of this group. And I don't need to know all of it. Okay, I don't need to know this. But what I'm telling you is that within the first 10 hours of FF7, I know who Shinra is.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, see, and that's the thing, is that the movie and the Kingsglaive explain
a little bit more about
who they are.
Who that is. And they did it within the first 2 minutes. Yep. The first 30 seconds of the damn movie. And that's the first thing I knew was like, this is not going to be good.
I told you, right? When I said, when you watch this, you're going to be pissed. Right from the beginning, you're going to be pissed.
But you know what? When they finally update it, I'm not going to give up on the game, because I do want to play it and I do want to finish it. And part of me wanted to go back and play 13, because 13 is a game that I couldn't get into, and I'm like, well, maybe this is better. But I went back and started playing Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, and I beat it, sort of.
Oh yeah, sort of. One of the 7 endings.
There are 6 on the PS Vita. There were normally 5, and then the Vita version added an extra scene, or it added an extra dungeon.
Right.
And I'm getting ready to do that extra dungeon now. But when I first beat the game. It just sort of ended abruptly, and it just went boop, 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 the end. And I'm like, wait a minute, this can't be the end. I'm like, I got stuck like 2 years ago when I was first playing this game, and saw the outline of like the guide, and I saw that there are entries for January and February, and I just skipped past those months. Because after you decide and make your final decision, there is no final boss fight. It just said, oh, you have found the killer. Time has passed. But that's because I said one thing wrong. I said one thing wrong in the long dialogue.
Was it wrong or right? It would be considered correct because you skipped that section or that block.
The reason why I said it was a one wrong decision was because you have like a choice of like 4 things to say.
Right.
And whatever your choice, like the conversation can be steered in kind of 2 directions.
Okay.
And then so on the last time I steered it toward the guy who we're confronting. He is the killer, no doubt. The worst ending is you kill him.
Right.
Right there in the hospital. He's been caught, captured. You kill him to make sure he can't do this again.
Huh.
The other option is he's the killer and you don't kill him.
Okay.
That's the ending. That's the ending that I got. And then the other thing that I could say is something's bugging me about this. And your character like says this isn't right. He's not the killer. And then you realize by playing through the game more, he's not the killer. So in the other endings, you damn him to a fate of being prosecuted for something that he didn't even. The way the game is set up is that this guy thinks that he's saving these people by throwing them into the TV realm.
Okay.
Okay. And then you go through, once you find out through the Midnight Channel that these people are in there, you go save them. So therefore, he started doing it when the first person that he threw into the TV to save them, the first person that you saved. So
after the killer.
After the killer, and everybody that gets thrown in after that, you save. So only 2 people have been officially killed.
Right.
Then another person died, and she kind of came back. I'm not sure if that was will or magic or what, but he was trying to save these people, and you think he's trying to save these people by killing them.
Huh.
But in his messed up mind, he thinks he's saving these people because everybody he throws in there ends up okay.
Right.
And like he's hiding them from the killer. And so that opens up the next few months of the game. And then you can track down the real killer. And then there's another ending where you get the killer, but there's a mastermind.
Jesus.
And I'm not sure. I ended up getting the mastermind. But then after that, the game sort of continues on. And then if you...
after you did a new load state. If you went back to old
after I went back and said, no, I'm not doing this. I went back and I resaved because it tells you, hey, the game is going to get pretty crazy here. Do you want to save? It says this. It says the game's going to get pretty story heavy. You're going to want to save.
Well,
okay,
good for them.
So it saves it right before you do all that.
Right.
And so I got that done. But then if you get something done before December 22nd or before Christmas, then you can unlock another dungeon, and it's a bonus dungeon.
Right,
and
it's the Vita only
dungeon, and it's the, how can I say this? It's completely it's an optional dungeon. It's the weapons in this game. This dungeon is meant to like challenge your skill.
Right.
So I'm right now at that dungeon, and I'm gonna hate every step of it.
Well, you're meant to.
Yeah.
It's meant to be like a ruby or emerald weapon fight where you have to struggle.
It sucks because it takes away all your weapons, gives you just your base weapons, takes away all your items, and you can only equip new weapons or use new items that are in this dungeon. And then after every fight, your MP or SP in this game gets halved. And the only way that you can fill it up again and heal that, or is to use the items that you find in the dungeon.
Just it's forcing you to conserve.
Yes.
Conserve and control. And use what their strengths are.
Yes, but then there's going to be.
Does it reset your personas?
No.
So you get to keep all your personas.
Yeah, like all your levels are. You go in there and your levels are going to be exactly where they're at, and your abilities are going to be where they're at. But then so much of your strength, depending on what kind of characters you bring in, are going to be. It's like my setup is kind of magic heavy, so I'm going to be having a lot of fun with this. And there's even some invisible shadows, like when you're going through the dungeon, because what these games are dungeon crawlers.
Right.
You do 10 floors of a dungeon at a time.
Yeah.
And you just straight through it. It takes a while. Well, you can see your enemies and like roam around in the dungeon, and I guess in this dungeon there are invisible ones that you can't see. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, have fun with that.
But that's what I've been playing. I'm actually at the end. I'm gonna beat this game. I've powered through it. In one of the rare instances here, I've actually this is the same game save I started like 2 or 3 years ago. Usually I have to start over.
Yeah, so usually you have to start over.
But this game is set up in a way to where there's a lot of like downtime between heavy story elements.
Right.
Where every time that I quit playing, it was always during kind of the lull. So and then they sort of like kind of recap it when you kind of converge and get back together again, and they'll say, well, hey, when this person got this and this person,
Right. So it's very.
It's set up for you to be able to take breaks if you want to, I guess. But I guess wasn't designed to be that way.
It's not. It's designed for a not a heavy gamer, but a recreational one where you game when you have time. Well,
I guess it also in a way, since this is a port of the original one, it's suited for like on the go on the Vita.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, especially since on the go games are always better, especially RPGs, because you can sit in the car and play them while somebody else is driving. Or
yeah, that's kind of what I did yesterday.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Oh yeah. So, did we talk about the game that you were playing in the last episode? Did you talk about Star Citizen?
I just bought Star Citizen like Well, I
though?
Contributed very lightly. I now have a much better grasp of what's going on, like all the elements of the game, and yeah, it's fantastic. But before that, I finally played No Man's Sky.
Oh yes, of course.
And at first it was disorienting. Like I didn't know what was going on. You know, it kind of throws you on a ship. Your ship's crashed. Fix it. Blah blah blah. It's an okay game. It's I mean, it's okay. It's not something like you would sit down and play it and you would like it, but you would get bored with the very repetitiveness of it. Like you go to a new planet, you go to a new solar system, and that solar system has the exact same thing you did in the last solar system and this solar system. There's no difference other than, you know, it looks a little different. So you're doing the exact same thing in each solar system. So it kind of gets boring. I got to the point where I was like, I'll play it whenever. I mean, I've got a ton of money. I've got like some of the best ships in the game already because I mean, I know how it works. I know how the system works. Farm.
Yeah. There are ways. I can't remember when that game came out. Somebody had beaten the game, like because they said it'd take you forever to get to the center. Some guy did it within. He used some sort of exploit with farming.
There's no exploit that actually lets you do it. You can. It's like a priest. There's a priest for whatever the thing is there. I don't know how to describe it, but there's a priest, and he'll tell you when you go there, if you've collected so many of these orbs, if you have 10, he will fast track you through a wormhole randomly, so you could either go forward or back closer to the center of the galaxy or the universe. So what it is like it opens a portal and you go through, and you could magically be right in the center where the creator of the entire galaxy is, and then you beat the game. Literally with everything with being the exact thing you started with. As long as you meet one of the priests.
Well, see, the thing that I read is that he used some exploit where he like farmed something and then was able to beat the game conventionally within less than a day. Like, but he just played it all. He did all that.
Because you could farm the Atlas stones, and the Atlas stones are what you use to do the wormhole, which kicks you closer to the center of the galaxy. You can't build like an interdimensional or a large hyperdrive. You can only move so many spots with a hyperdrive. Even when you upgrade to hyperdrive, you can only move, maybe 3 spots now. So instead of stopping at each one, you can move through all of them. But I would say that's how you did it, because you could farm them. You can definitely farm them. But it's a niche game. I mean, you have to be okay with playing by yourself, and it's very, I don't know, it's different. It's fun. Some of the elements aren't as tight as they should be. Like it would be nice if you could have like multiplayer, because if something like that large, you would want to be multiplayer. Just like Star Citizen is going to be such a huge game that if it's just you out there and in dead space, you're going to be like, this kind of sucks.
Right. Well, okay, because you said before we started recording, like the similarities between that and Mass Effect, and I think Mass Effect is different because it is so story driven.
This can be story. It has a story section, Squadron 42, and in it you have a mission and you do it. I have not played it. I have not purchased it. It's $20, and I will get that when the game comes out. I would like that section to be complete. Right now I'm playing all the individual elements that's going to make up Squadron 42. So like your PU, which is the Progressive Universe, that's where everybody's going to be. That's the MMO style where you're out in the absence of space with millions of other players, and you can play together, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I've been focusing on and watching and seeing, because each so many days they might drop a new, like they added a new asteroid belt. And they really added asteroid belt to where you have to be pretty good at maneuvering the plane to make it through it, because it's very dense. But it's just a lot of time into developing it. They've spent, and then they are really big on, like, up on the newsletter, they have stuff that says, these guys, we're getting a high volume of what we could do to make the game better, and it's great, and then they'll change it, and then they'll update it, and then they'll ask for your opinion. It's not like DayZ. DayZ was big. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome," and everybody donated a bunch of money. And then, where's DayZ?
Yeah,
it's never came out for anything
other than PC. Yeah.
No, still in beta or alpha. It's not a hard game. So you look at this game; it's in beta, and it says right now, "Hey, we're in beta." Big learning curve. Like you have to pull up your controls and look and be like, "Okay, this is what this does. This is what this does," and took me about 20 hours to get to where I can maneuver a plane like I know what I'm doing and shoot people down like I know what I'm doing. Still not the best. In this part of the game, in beta, you're spending money to get better ships. Now, you're spending real money, not in-game money. That's to further back the game. So you can do what you want. You can rent these things with more time invested into it. So it's not to where it's forcing you to pay. It's not a pay-to-play. I mean, right now it technically is, but but you're supporting the community.
It's in early access.
Yeah, so it's fun. But what I say, it's like Mass Effect is the fact of you go to unknown planets and you pull resources from those planets and you use those resources to build other things, to upgrade your ship, to upgrade this. And it's more of a Mass Effect is a great game. I would never say that it's not a great game. It's a fantastic game. Great story, great everything. This is more of, I'd say it will have the same story. Obviously it doesn't now because it's beta, but it will, but it's focusing on everything else to make the world seem more whole. Like Mass Effect took 3 games to give you the full aspect of the world, right? Like the first one, you got all the planets and traveling around. And then the second one really pulls it together. And the third one defines the ending.
Yeah.
Okay? So this one is, they're trying to make it to where everything is defined. You go into a major city, you walk around, it's like this, you can go into a clothing shop. You can dress as an idiot or as a hipster or whatever you want to do. And then it allows you can purchase new weapons. You can upgrade those. You can do so much stuff in the game that it's just, you get lost. Like I've gotten lost just sitting and reading about how this game's, like I've been listening to their podcast and really, they talk for 25 minutes about their first person aspect of how it's different from everyone else's. It's phenomenal. They really put a lot of time. There's a lot of love in this game.
One thing I wanted to talk about, just touch on, I saw a video, a very, very quick review of the new Call of Duty game.
I haven't touched it.
I haven't either, and I don't plan on it.
No, me neither.
But apparently, they added a space, dogfighting element. Where you have full 3D motion of dogfighting, first person. Well, because the new game takes place up in space.
Right.
And I've heard, hey, it's Call of Duty. It's got enough here to make you feel at home with Call of Duty. But it's got enough new things because they're doing new stuff with with the space stuff.
Right.
Now, granted, this game obviously paled in comparison as far as what a lot of people thought of. They went with Battlefield.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to go back, and it's like by just looking at the trailers, it's like, hey, it seems like Call of Duty is just keep going further and further away from what we want. Now, like what I talked about, that was the main campaign. It's the main campaign, as they put a lot of time and money into the Call of Duty main campaigns, and they're honestly, when you start looking at games, some games are starting to just do multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
They're just getting away from campaigns in general. In fact, Titanfall actually put a campaign back in because their game was pretty empty with just multiplayer. The original, and unfortunately for Titanfall 2, which is one of the higher rated shooters for the fall, it got overclouded by all the other stuff that's going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
And so that is bad. That is bad news for Titanfall because it didn't sell well. Even though apparently, from everything I've heard, it's the people who play it say this is awesome, but no one's playing it because it just kind of got overshadowed. And then same with Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs 2 came out, and apparently it's everything that people wanted from Watch Dogs 1. Yeah, but it's just people aren't playing it, people aren't buying it because it came out with so many other stuff around it. Yeah,
I don't understand why a lot of people push their dates back to avoid that stuff.
Well, okay, it's my opinion is that what's coming out in January? Name a big game because I can only think of one. Resident Evil 7.
Say 7, yeah.
Resident Evil 7 is the only one. And honestly, I'm very surprised that didn't get like just randomly pushed back. But like, because they came out and said, hey, guess what? Here's our game. Guess what? January. Just kind of like what they did with Fallout. You know, they said, hey, guess what? Here's Fallout. Guess what? November. People are like, holy crap, what? And these studios are starting to do that more because they don't want to tell you their date, because a lot of these studios are still monkeying with the aspects of this generation of gaming, because they may think and have an idea, it'll be ready, and then they go, crap, we just encountered a whole lot of problems.
Yeah.
You know, or it's like, we are having problems getting this to work right. We're getting the problems. It's taking longer to develop the game, so they want to keep the date closer to heart. And was it last year or the year before, where January is usually a dead month for gaming. Everyone's recuperating from the holidays, but Dying Light came out. And Dying Light did great numbers, did great sales, because it came out in a dead zone where nothing else is out, and people are like, what's this? And it played well, and it did well, and people bought it.
Yeah, I had it.
You know? And so I kind of feel like a game like Watch Dogs, like, I don't really think that was a game people were clamoring to get their hands on after the first one.
Right.
You could have just pushed that back until like January, where there's nothing else out. People have recuperated. The people who are going to get it are going to get it. But then, like, the others who are on the fence are just maybe looking at it going, man, you know, I've already beat that game I got for Christmas. Like, what's out? Oh, hey, this Watch Dogs. I remember playing the first one. It kind of sucked. See some videos. Maybe I'll pick this one up.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, maybe it goes on to have a really good month.
Yeah, there is a lot of trouble with games coming out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had a choice between 4 games, and I did not choose Fallout 4, and I should have chose Fallout 4.
What did you buy?
I don't even remember. What did I buy?
Because I remember that, because I was like, you need to get this. You need to buy Fallout 4 because you'll like it.
Maybe it was Need for Speed.
Oh, it was Need for Speed.
I still love the game. I mean, I love the Need for Speed game. I do. It's great.
Was that
the crap out
was
of
that the reboot? It was just called Need for Speed?
It's called Need for Speed. Reboot. Still needs some tweaking done, but, you know, this is a reboot where they're getting back to the roots. They're getting back to the underground, which everybody loves underground.
Do you know what game I heard was actually pretty good?
What's that?
Need for Speed Most Wanted You.
I didn't like it.
Did you play it on the Wii U?
Yep. Not on the Wii U.
Okay, because I've heard that on the, like, as far as like racing games on the Wii U, it's a good racing game.
Well, the new Most Wanted, because they had a Most Wanted before,
yeah,
which was kind of extension of the Underground, and then they had the new one they came out with, Most Wanted, and it's just a drive around open world, but you don't do anything to your vehicles. You just find other vehicles, unlock them, then you can drive them.
Well, I just kind of heard that, like, with the announcement that the Wii U is no longer in production, they have now officially cut it. No more new Wii U's are getting made.
Oh, but we're going to support it. Yeah.
We've heard that one before.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Wii U collecting is going to get harder and harder to do for people who want complete libraries. Or anything.
Yep.
And so, like, I saw a list of games that said, hey, if you have a Wii U and you want to get some more games for it, check out these. And that game was on there. And I'm like, really? That was like the one game on there that I was like scratching my head about. I'm like, this one? And I read up on it, and it's like, apparently, like, the Wii U version's a really good version of that game to get. Another device that is no longer in production. Oh, well, okay. Let me rephrase this. No longer coming to America. The PS Vita.
Yes.
The PS Vita is apparently, or they're still being made in Japan, but we can no longer get them brand new in America. They're not shipping anymore. Of course, there's still so many probably
surplus,
here.
Yeah.
I mean, but once that kind of runs out, so this year, we've lost the Xbox 360. That's no longer being produced. Yep. We've lost the Wii U, and now we've lost the Vita. And the Vita is almost kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Sony platforms. It never sold well for them, and as much as I wanted that system to be the next big handheld, it just never caught on.
I tell you now, me personally, if the game is available on the Vita or the PS4, I go with the Vita. One, I mean, the graphics, you can only go so far with the graphics. Even like, I have a 4K TV. I've got a PS4 Pro. You know, they only go so far. And right now with the game development, it's not like, hey, 4K, hey, 4K. So these games are literally just slightly dimmed down on the like on the flash, but they're still the same game.
Yeah. And
I can look past the graphics, but it's $20 less. Exact same game, and a lot of the time, Vita has more stuff. They have exclusive things.
I went into a local GameStop, and they had Vita games on sale.
They had a big sale with Vita, where there was almost $10 off of... GameStop had almost $10 off of every Vita game.
Mm-hmm. The Wii U section was almost empty, but the reason why I brought up the Vita is because I wanted to do an episode, I can't speak, focused on the PSP.
Right.
The predecessor to the Vita. Because the PSP did amazing numbers. I just looked it up, like, right before we started. PSP sold, was it 82 million systems?
Yeah, but there was a reason why.
Well, yes. I mean, okay, sure. You can hack it.
Yep.
But I mean, then you get. But I mean, was it just that? Because not everybody did that.
Not everybody did that, but a majority of people did. Those systems that you're seeing those high numbers on are people that, like me, I'm not gonna mod this one for the simple fact that it's a limited edition one. And if it was just a black one, I would have already modded it.
Well, see, now they have a way where you can just install the hack onto a memory card.
Right.
And it's like every time you boot it up, you gotta launch that. It kind of restarts the system.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I did that. Well, see, the thing is that I don't really, for me, I don't really see a need for it because most of the stuff that I'm going to play on the go, I have it on the go. And it's like, okay, do I want the entire NES library on the go? No, I don't need it.
You don't need it, but think of that at the time. You know, the time was the PS2.
Yeah.
And, you know, the PS2 was great. It was throwing out games left and right that were fantastic. I mean, we could just throw out random names, and they were just great games. And in that era, the PSP came out, and its UMDs were just completely... I think they're the best CD form of anything ever because they're covered.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing is like you get these DVDs and the Blu-rays and you lay them down and they're scratched. Well, I could pull this out right here and it don't hurt it because it's got the case on it. I like it, and I think that it could have been utilized a little bit better, like larger games on it.
The downfall of it is the load times.
Yes.
Or are the load times. I mean, the load times are pretty bad for some games. In fact, some games, they'll say, hey, you might want to install some of this data to make loading times smaller. So now, there were multiple variations on the PSP that came out. I didn't own the first one.
And the second one.
Yeah, see, I didn't own the first one at all. I saw it, and I got a chance to hold one. The PSP 1000s, they were the really, kind of the thicker black model. They came out, and... I didn't get one until 2007 when, I don't know if the 2000 had just come out or if they had been out for a little bit. I got the bundle that had Jack
and Daxter.
Just Daxter.
Dexter. Okay.
And then mine had the Family Guy UMD.
See, when I got
freaking
mine,
sweet collection.
I got mine. It was National Treasury and...
National Treasure
and I think it was... Jack and Dax, I think I got.
Was it Daxter?
Daxter.
Well, this is my original one right here.
Right.
I still have it. And I bought this for one game.
I know what game that was.
That's not the first time I've done that. It's not the first system I bought for one game. I bought an original Xbox to play KOTOR. I bought a GameCube to play the Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, a remake. And I bought this to play Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII. So... I bought this in November, and Crisis Core is supposed to come out in March. So the games that I picked up with this day one were Siphon Filter, Dark Mirror, GTA Vice City Stories, which I'd already played the port of that on the PS2.
Right.
But I'm like, hey, play it on the go. That's where it came out for. And then I got Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. And I played the crap out of it. I liked it. And of course, I got Crisis Core day one. I had it pre-ordered it, got it. Played the crap out of that, and then I sort of slacked off a little bit on it after that. I did play some of the PS1 classics that I got for Like I got FF7.
Chains of Olympus is what I got with it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it Chains of Olympus?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play those right away. However, I was deciding to do another playthrough of Crisis Core. And this is probably 2009.
Right.
Summer of 2009. I was playing either Crisis Core or because I think I had just got the FF7 PS1 Classic.
Right.
And I can't remember if I was I was going to work towards playing through Crisis Core and then playing that. And then was sitting on the crapper, as you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember what happened, what I did, if I grunted a little too hard, or it just went. And oh crap! Pick it up. Nothing. It never worked again.
But
anyway, so this was now a paperweight. It didn't work. I couldn't get it to work. Everything I tried, I took this thing apart, trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And then that year, I got married to my awesome wife, and we bought each other wedding gifts. And she got a DSi,
right,
and I got a PSP Go. Now the PSP Go, I bought that because I'm like, digital gaming. Then this is before I was a collector. Oh, that's awesome! I don't have to haul anything around. And then I'm like, and I'm sure they're going to come out with all the other games that are out for it,
except for the one you want.
Except for the two. There were two games that never came out digitally on the PlayStation Store because Square are douchebags.
Well,
it was Square. It's all Square. It is Square because they put Dissidia 1 and 2 digitally.
Okay.
Okay, Dissidia, they got released. Third Birthday got released. Crisis Core and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, nope. No plans. Why? That was their answer. Shrug. Yeah. So, I got a few games when I got the Go. I got Chinatown Wars, GTA. I got Chains of Olympus. I got a few more PS1 classics. And then I got Dissidia. And then I'm pretty sure those were the only games I got, like actual PSP games that I got. No, Peace Walker. I bought Peace Walker.
Peace Walker, yep. Yeah. I still got to get that since I have the Peace Walker limited edition.
So anyway, I had the Go, and then I decided to get rid of the Go.
Yeah.
And I sold it to you.
Traded it to me.
Oh, I did trade it to you.
Yep.
It was like the entire Gundam Wing set, and then $40, $30.
Something like that, yeah.
And then you let somebody borrow it.
Never got it back.
Now, I wonder why that was.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the day before I really got on his ass, he asked you how much you could get for it.
It was something like that. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. He gave me the money, gave me enough money to get the green limited edition one.
That's a 3,000?
That's 3,000. Let's make sure. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't think
it should be a 3,000 because it's one of the last ones made. Yep, 3,001. Yep, it's 3,000.
It says it on there?
Right there.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, I'll be damn, it does. So, I decided to get back into PSP because I still had Crisis Core. I still had some of the games I had for it. And then I found a copy of Twisted Metal Head-On at my local Goodwill for like $3. And I said I need to go get a PSP. And that's when I got this one, which is a 3000. It is a black. And I took the battery out of this one, put it in here, and it fired right up. So, I didn't break my system. I broke the battery. So,
which is easily replaced.
It can be. I still haven't done it. I just swapped the battery, but like
they now have battery extenders on those to increase the battery. So.
Yep, but yeah. So I've played the crap out of this. Got a game in there.
What game is it?
SmackDown.
SmackDown
2006 GM mode.
Yeah.
If you get that on the go, I absolutely love. Me and Rob played the hell out of GM mode, but the PSP, man, since it sold so much. So many systems, like it has such a great library. And when you look, I mean, okay, so the Vita, it has a good library, but nothing like the PSP. PSP has so many freaking games.
Vita's getting there.
No, Vita's not even close.
I would say that
Vita has a lot more of those like indie games.
It does.
That came to that. Well, like when you're talking about really good, solid games and ports and remakes and versions that were on PS2, versions that were even on like a PS3, and you had racing games, you had shooters. Well, okay, maybe not the quality of first-person shooter, but they had different kinds of shooters. You had, did I say racing?
Yeah.
I already said racing. You had great RPGs. So many RPGs.
Yeah, the Gran Turismo PSP version, which I haven't played yet, and I've played and almost beat every one of them. I gotta get that.
I wanted to get that as well. And there was another version after 3000 that came out. It was a cheap version. And I think it's called like the E or something like that. PSP E or PSP like 3000E or something like that. I don't even know. I'm not even going to waste time looking it up.
I was saying.
It is a really cheap model that got released for like $100.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
And I don't think I even saw it. When I moved down here in 2011, I want to say it's like 2012, 2013. Down just south of us is Lebanon, and in their Walmart was a brand new in-box PSP. They were selling it for $120.
Huh.
Brand new. And it sat there for so long, and I'm just like, I wish they would clearance that out.
Right?
I'm like, I would buy that and just keep it in the box for good old times, or for when one of these decides it's not going to work anymore.
Was it? You don't know if it's the E model or the 3000?
It was a 3000. It was a silver 3000. It was some sort of bundle. I can't remember what game or whatever it came with, but it was a late one, a late release. But I absolutely love the PSP, without a doubt. Like,
it's a good system.
I took a picture on Instagram and on my Brando Games account and put just some of my favorite games that I've either collected and played, and or played, I should say. Because I haven't got through all of them yet. Because there's a lot of RPGs in there, but
yeah,
I think there's something. I think there's a story that needs to get said.
Which story?
The E story. Because I got them right here.
Because I was gonna be a dick.
All right, so
I was totally gonna be a dick. I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. You don't even know what it is.
All right, so it was the day you got that. It was the day that you got your green Peace Walker.
Funny thing about that is we were talking about it at work, and I said, well, why don't we just go to Disc Replay afterwards, and I'll if they have a limited edition one, I'll buy it. Or if they have a good one, because a lot of times you get these, they're bad, they're rough, and I'm big on it being mint.
I don't even think you said limited edition. I just think you said if it's in good condition.
In good condition, yeah.
And it just so happened to be the green, like the emerald green one.
And do you remember what you did? Get here now.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, because you were taking Nick home, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, and I went straight there. So I get there, and whoever brought that in brought a whole stack of stuff in.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and then so we were looking to get you kind of started off because you got Final Fantasy Tactics. I think you got that day.
I got Tactics. I got
Crisis Core.
Crisis Core. I got World. Not Final Fantasy. World of.
Oh yes, crap. I remember.
It's the Tales of the World, I think is what it is. It's the Tales series.
It's a Tales of game, yeah.
Yeah.
Something I can't remember which one.
I know it. I thought I had it in here. I've been playing it randomly, and I put it back. I don't know why I can't think of the name, but yeah, I got that, and then I think I got one or two other games to make the 6. If you get one for free, and I had my.
Well, we actually combined.
That's right. Yep.
We combined because that guy's like, hey, I got this stuff too back here if you guys are interested, and it had on the very bottom these two stacks of Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles and Ys 7, which Ys is these are PSP remakes.
Right.
Well, actually, this one's remakes of 1 and 2. This one is a brand new game that came out just for the PSP.
Good old XSeed games.
And these are old. Ys 1 dating all the way back to the Sega Master System.
Yes.
And then, of course, got ported to so many other different things, TurboGrafx, all that other stuff. The series has been around forever, but it's always been sort of niche. It's been like, here's Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda, here's Ys. As far as how much people know about it.
Yes.
Because I didn't even know about these until I started collecting games. At all. Didn't know about them. Had no idea what this was. And I started seeing some videos, started seeing some gameplay, and I'm like, I need to check these out. And then as soon as you got up there right before I did, and you just grabbed the whole stack and put them towards you, and I said, oh, no, you don't. You're like, I saw them first. I'm like, you don't even know how to pronounce it.
And I was like, yeah, it's Wise. You don't even know.
But these both were $30. I want to say this one was $10. This one was $20.
Yeah.
And they're really good condition. In fact, I want to say E7 was completely sealed.
It was.
And then 1 and 2, and okay, so like all the bonus stuff, the soundtrack, and I think this one has a soundtrack and a book or a map. All that stuff's still sealed, and that was still sealed. So, but there's on the side of it, it kind of comes together like one of the old school like the VHSs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you get a box like the old, like, for example, the old Star Trek movie box set made the Enterprise.
Right.
When you put them together. So this has a little picture, and I'm missing one. I was missing this one. This is, I believe, this is the remake of Ys 3. So I got this to fill the gap, to go in there. That makes the the picture. Well, I got this on Amazon.
And that was sealed.
It was sealed too.
Lucky.
It said that it was in good condition.
And you know how that is sometimes on Amazon.
Well, because there's no picture, and so I just said all I needed to do is be good. It just needs to have the box. It just needs to be good. I don't care if anything in there is open. As long as everything's in there, I'm cool.
Right.
Everything was sealed. So
Yeah.
I really lucked out there.
Yeah.
I have started playing through the series and won and got stuck. Now, okay. Graphically, the games have been completely remastered, okay? But they still play the exact same as the old Master System days. So guess what they don't have? An attack button.
You have to walk up and...
You just nudge into them until you beat them. Now, the music is badass. Like, the walking around music level, like, you just walk around, is badass. Like that shit got stuck in my head. I was at work sitting there humming that crap while I'm doing my job. I definitely want to get through these. I have E6 on the PS2. I think there is a PSP version of it. Maybe. I don't know. I found that one way before I found these.
Right.
Again, they don't always number them. 7 is numbered, and I think 8 is going to be numbered. That's coming to the PS4. And then coming out on the Vita and PS4 this year is going to be Ys Origins.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to be another version of Ys 1 and 2. But
be.
All the games follow the main character, Adel. Unlike the Final Fantasies where they're all separate games, these are all sequels to each other. This is all his journey.
Right.
And so getting these, I thank you for letting me get these, because that could have been very, very disappointing for me. But I always wanted to check them out, because it was just one of those things that when you find out about it, in like as far as in the collecting world, it's like so it's just like somebody will see this and go, oh cool, that looks like a cool fantasy game. But it's like, how often are you going to come across the collector's box or the premium editions or whatever with all the stuff still in there, all the stuff still sealed?
Yeah. So
crazy. The PSP, what's it going to run you? The
$60 now.
Yeah, probably about $60 for what, 3,000?
Yeah. Well, it really doesn't. It's not too big of a variant. Like you're talking $50 to $60.
Well,
64. I think this was 64. 64.
My 3,000 was 64. So 60, 65 for 3,000. I think 1,000s can go for about $50.
Maybe. Like I said, I don't know.
The Go's, I don't even know what they go for anymore.
Nothing.
I have no idea. I kind of wish I could get that back.
Just because.
Yeah, just to have it setting up.
Yeah, but that's just for your.
It was my wedding gift.
That's your collector.
It was my wedding gift.
Yeah.
And I said I don't want it, because I got so mad. Like that was my throwing it away moment when I got so mad.
And now you're like, oh man.
Yeah, you know what? There's something cool about having something that nobody else wants.
I guess. I don't know about that.
It is to me. It is to me. And
I don't know.
honestly, I think it reflects on where like Sony was way ahead of the game as far as the digital thing. I think they were way ahead of it because people weren't ready for it. That was one reason why it failed. Well, that price point.
Sony as a whole company has been ahead of a lot of people for a long time.
Yeah.
The problem is they're the inventors, and then somebody else fine tunes it and drops the price down, and then they get undershot.
Well, Sony just can't get past the whole proprietary memory thing. That plagued this thing. That has plagued the Vita so much.
Yes, it has.
Oh my gosh. Just make it a micro SD card for Christ's sake.
If they would have made it a micro SD card, it would have sold a lot more units.
I think so too. I think people who were on the fence would have just jumped in. Because, I mean, granted, okay, so the price point's not terribly.
Terribly? What are you talking about? 64 gigabyte memory stick's like $100.
No. I'm talking about the system.
Oh, okay.
System, okay, sure.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so like $200 for a handheld. Okay, sure. Maybe a little high to start, you know. But like eventually they can be kind of brought down. I think they're like a 180 brand new, 160, 180, somewhere around there.
Disc replay was selling for like 160, 130.
Used?
130 used.
Used?
130 used for a Vita.
Oh, 130. Okay. Oh yeah. 120, 130 is pretty good for a Vita used. But I mean, because the 3DS came out and was a little too high, and they dropped it, and it did better.
Yeah. But it's Nintendo, I mean.
And it has a damn SD card.
Nintendo's good about staying on top of stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Other than Crisis Core, like, what else? Like, what else have you played on here that you've really enjoyed?
Chains of Olympus was one of the first games I got, and it's a great game. I actually really like. I never played any of the God of War games up to that point. That was the first game.
That was your first
game ever. And I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Played the other ones. Over time, it's kind of like, let's go a little further with this, not hack and slash.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing over and over again. But that, and I played Need for Speed. That's a good game. I mean, I like racing games in general.
There's a lot of good racers on.
Like, a lot of good racers.
Like on the PSP too.
The Pro Street's on there.
Yeah.
I have that now. Let's see, what else did I have? I had a couple, I don't know off the top of my head. I know that I had a couple of really strange games that I never really played too much because like, this kind of sucks. I don't remember. That's been a long time ago. I mean, I bought it and I didn't have a whole lot of time to play it. And then I got original Xbox and modded it. And once I modded it, I never turned back because I put everything I wanted on the Xbox and then I just played the Xbox. Plus, I was deployed overseas, so I didn't have the access to all those games. So I kind of got hindered on this, and by the time I came back, the 360 was coming out, and I pretty much passed this by. So I'm slowly getting back into it. So I don't have a large library of games that I've played.
This thing is an RPG machine.
It is, and I'm picking up RPGs. Right.
Of course, the E's. Final Fantasies, holy crap. You have the 20th anniversary editions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2.
I got that.
Those have bonus dungeons in them, and it's the only way that you can buy just Final Fantasy 2 on its own.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, so it's like FF1, FF2 are both separate single entries. Used, those are going pretty decent. I think they're about $7 now.
Yeah.
FF4 Complete, which has it's Final Fantasy 4, just like, hey, that's the game that we know and love. And then it has the DLC, used to be exclusive to the Wii eShop. It's the After Years. And it's set after FF4, and that's the PSP version is the only way to get that on a physical version, unless you want to go on to the Wii eShop. And the Wii, I'll be honest with you, I'm not so sure how much the Wii eShop is even up. Because I know you can get access to it to the Wii U, but then again, it's like, I know they shut down online access for the Wii. I don't know if that was just for playing games or doing that, or if like you can still get on there and purchase stuff. I haven't looked into it. The remake or port of Lunar, Silver Star Story or Harmony, whichever one it's called on the PSP, they've added some new stuff to that. Some voices got added to that, and then you have the Star Oceans. Star Ocean 2 came out for the PS1, And then they also brought over for the first time Star Ocean 1. It is now in America, and that's on there. And then you also have Persona. Persona 1 has been ported. Persona 2, one of them was ported. The other one was released over here on the PS1, so you can actually go into the store, download the PS1 Classic, and then you can have
the PS1.
Like the full Persona 2. Persona 3 is a PS2 game that got ported to the PSP. They put a whole PS2 game on the PSP.
I believe it.
And then, from what I understand it, like they did have to like kind of dumb it down just a little bit. But from what I understand, the PSP version is actually like kind of the better version to get. Like in some aspects. So many freaking games. So many freaking RPGs. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
You know, that is the remake of the PS1 game. You know, the World of Lions. That's the one that's on the Steam. If you buy the Final Fantasy Tactics on Steam, it's the PSP version. I honestly think...
Which they now have 9 available. Well, they've had 9 available for a while, but remastered 9 looks fantastic.
Yes, it does. I mean, hell, I played that game not too long ago, and I think even the PS1 version, it still kind of holds up.
It does.
But the PSP, in my opinion, is one of the best handhelds.
It's very versatile. I like another thing that I got it for that I loved, and this is where I think that I had the most stuff in movies.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You could have movies. I mean, I had 20 movies on it. I don't have anymore.
Well, this is before we had
Pulp Fiction,
our phones. This is before we had all those crazy iPod touches. I mean, this size screen playing a movie.
At the
time, it was crazy.
Yeah, and it was decent quality.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my god, look at this. It's
but it was good quality.
It was good quality.
It was good quality.
It was almost the same as the regular TV.
There's a whole collector's market for just buying the UMD movies.
Oh yeah,
and
a lot of those movies still go for a lot. Like a lot of them, like
I saw
National Treasure is still fairly expensive.
I saw Sin City. In discrete play one time, it was like $25.
$25, and then they had Pulp Fiction, 16.
No, 16.
16.
But then you can get some other stuff. You can get some stuff pretty cheap.
Yeah.
There. And I want to get a few just to have them, just to say, hey, look what this thing can do. Just to have it in the collection. I don't really care if I get Sin City again or get anything like that. I just want to have a couple just to kind of show off.
Right.
But like UMD was actually at the time, it was looking at to be like a full format to go forward as far as because so many different companies got on board and just released them, and I don't think it was any surprise that this thing sold well because Sony was riding hot.
Yeah, it was.
PS2, Sony was riding like really hot, and so people were like, next PlayStation, PSP portable. Everyone was into it. They're like, you know what, Game Boy Advance is pretty cool. This is a PS2 in my pocket. And really, I feel like they got almost everything right with this. You had your media problem or your memory problem. UMD could cause load times, sure, but I mean, when they went to go to the Vita, so many things had changed in the handheld market.
Oh, over time, yes.
Because then it was all of a sudden we have this,
and you had dual sticks. Almost every game had dual sticks. So you had to incorporate a dual stick in.
But I mean, as far as like. It was so difficult to replace this with another one of these.
Yes.
For a lot of people, because for mobile gaming, you had mobile gaming. You had Apple had come in with the iPad and revolutionized how people take in their games and their media through that. And then I mean, even the 3DS hasn't sold nearly as well as the DS, but it's still considered a successful system. Other than like the Vita, I want to say the Vita sold like 12 million, maybe 30.
I don't know them.
Like I heard not too long ago that the Wii U hasn't even sold as many as the Vita.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And the Vita man, if you go to a GameStop, there's not too much space dedicated to the Vita.
There's not.
I remember there was a whole section for PSP, so binge to go through games, movies, so many other things, and it's just a shame. I kind of wish that the Vita could have been the successor that the PSP truly deserved. I
feel like as we're moving forward with gaming, a lot of companies are, if they can make it on the Vita, they just do it on the Vita. That's the thing. It's like if it's because the Vita is very close to what like a PS4 controller. I mean, it has the 2, which is a touchpad on the back. Your sticks there.
I don't know. See, I'm not sure if I agree with that, because I think some people do it, but then other people, like, if it's going to cost them too much money, they won't do it.
It shouldn't cost them too much anyways, because you're talking about, you're just putting the media, either you're taking it from the disc and you're putting it on I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Those
little discs, like little memory chips.
Yeah, it's basically an SD card.
Yeah. See, I don't know. There's a whole lot of inner workings there that have to be talked about and thought about, because it has to think, well, it's not so much as whether or not can the system handle it. How much is this actually going to sell on that unit?
Sure.
If you're looking at attachment rate, I think I just read where the PS4 is now at 56 million.
Oh yeah.
It just sold 6 million units over holiday. Yeah. Like PS4 is cooking, and then you have the Vita, which is a fraction of that. The people who own Vitas are largely very loyal and supportive of it.
It's a great system. It just didn't get in enough hands.
No, and that is what sucks, because I feel like they kind of missed the mark a little bit on marketing.
I think
they really should have marketed it better.
I think everything was done well. I really didn't hear too much about the Vita. Like you said, it could have been marketed much better. But you're talking about Xbox was hot. Everybody was hot at the time, except Nintendo. Nintendo was. Well, the Wii.
Yeah, the Wii had pretty much fizzled out, but it was a pretty much overnight success. The next step of this is to see how well the Switch does, because now we're looking at the Vita. Sony had been, like you kind of said it before, Sony invents shit and other people do it better.
Yep.
As far as bringing console quality games to your pocket, they did it with the PSP, they did it with the Vita, and now Nintendo's going to try and do it with the Switch, where it's going to be both. It's going to be, you can put it at home, it's going to sit there and it's going to work and go, hey, look, I'm going to go on the road. Let's take it with me.
Yep.
And we'll definitely have to wait and see how that goes.
I don't know. Basically they put an iPad. Basically, that's what it is. It's just basically an iPad or a tablet that is dedicated to gaming.
Yeah, it's a little bit more powerful than that too, because it is. But then again, I guess we'll really find out next week, and then next week we'll have to get together and we'll have a little chit chat about.
I know that I'm not getting one for a while.
I probably won't get one for a while too, but I'm really interested to seeing.
I'm interested to see what it can do. I'm really interested to see the specs, because we haven't seen a full line of actually what we're going to be putting out yet, and I'm hoping that it's right above the PS4 and right above the Xbox One original models. Obviously, it's not going to be the new.
I'm thinking when it's docked, it's gonna get overclocked, and it's gonna be around the Xbox One.
Right now,
I think when it's on the go, I think it's gonna drop down a little bit.
Here's the thing: as we found out with computers over time, overclocking is not that good. It decays faster over time when it's overclocked. So we're gonna start seeing a lot of switches start crapping out because they're docked all the time, and they're
Well, here's the thing: is that they're not gonna. They're not going to do it to a point where it's so overclocked it's going to damage it.
We hope.
Well, because by this definition of overclocking, it's going to be let's overclock it to just bump it up to the next level.
We'll see.
And then apparently, rumor and innuendo here. Apparently, when it's docked, there's going to be another fan in there to help keep it cooler when it's overclocked.
Because with PC gaming, when you overclock for gaming so that you don't have to spend that extra money. It gives you that extra boost to make things run a little bit smoother. They're doing it specifically for graphics. And I'm just hoping that it's built properly, because I'm worried that if you leave it docked all the time, it's for me, yeah, it's cool to have it on the go, but I'm probably not going to take it on the go. I'm personally probably not going to pick it up. I might pick it up, bring it over here, but I'm not.
I'll definitely take it on the go
and play all the time.
Well, I'm not
afraid to break it.
I'm not going to take it to work, but come on, are you kidding me? If I'm playing a game that's available on the Switch, and I'm saying, hey, we have to go to Illinois.
Well, yeah, you will, but I'm not.
What I want to okay, so you start talking about overclocking. When they had the Xbox One, and they had so much RAM dedicated to the Kinect, and they reallocated to make that RAM available to use for other developers. Would that be by definition some sort of overclocking?
No, because overclocking, you're pushing it. They just basically took the space available and made it more available to the software units.
Okay.
So overclocking is basically you take this and you push it to load faster,
right,
to do stuff like that, to render faster. That's your overclocking. And 9 times out of 10, overclocking reduces the lifespan of the item overclocked by a couple of years. Like if I went out and bought a brand new graphics card that's not overclocked and one that is overclocked, ran them exactly the same, this one's definitely going to go. Now nowadays, we have a better power consumption. It's not pushing so much power.
Yeah.
So now it might not be as big of an issue as it was like back when I was really hardcore PC gaming. Because I know like if you overclock the graphics card, you're looking at 2 years and it's gone. And that's $400 investment.
I don't necessarily think that if that's true, that if it gets a little bit of a power boost when it's docked, I don't think it's going to be like that.
I hope not. It's not a huge difference. We're not talking like you're going from 720 to 1080. You're going from what, 9?
I mean, it might be that, but I
don't know if it's that.
But I mean, it might be a 720 to a 1080 jump. But I mean, we're not talking like anything that's like nowadays with today's technology, with it just being like boost. Like basically, like what it's saying is that when it's on the go, it doesn't run at that capabilities. Probably for battery life. Probably for a couple of reasons.
I think I know what it does, actually. I think that they say that there's nothing in the docking station, but I believe that they've got a little bit more RAM and a little bit more oomph put into the system that way, because you can add more RAM and it will render faster.
Yeah, but you make it look better. The game is going to have to run on the go. If you're going to put the game on, it's going to be able to have to run.
I'm sure it does scale it down. I'm sure you are correct.
Probably.
But
I think that's all I gotta really say. Next week we're going to be talking about the Switch. Of course, that is this Thursday night.
Yes.
Is their Switch event at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, something like that.
I'll be watching it at 4 a.m. when I wake
Probably.
up.
That's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to get up early and watch it before we go to work. That way we can kind of just kind of like get to bed, get together like on the way in to kind of either go crazy over it or nitpick it or whatever, and then what we'll probably do is that we'll just kind of wait. We're not going to go the next day and do an episode. We'll wait until Sunday. We'll just kind of keep it, and we'll. You know what? I think the episodes are just gonna. The episodes are gonna hit. The podcast streaming. They're gonna hit up on Monday, and I don't know for video. Again, this is just a test. If it works, it works. If I don't like it, I don't like it. But if I can get it out
right
on Monday, that's cool. If it's got to wait a day or two, that's fine. Right. But kind of it is what it is. You know what? We always try to end the show with a recommendation. So I'm going to recommend a game for the PSP.
Okay.
And what one should I say? You know what? I'm going to say Mega Man X Maverick Hunter. It's one that's sitting right on top of my.
I didn't say the one that's right there.
It's the remake of Mega Man X, and it is damn good. It is damn good. I absolutely loved it. I got that for free from PS Plus on my Vita. And before I got back into the PSP. So when I got into the PSP, I was hunting for that.
Right.
And I actually bought it brand new. It was one of those stack. I think I got like 4 games brand new off of Amazon.
Right.
For like $30 or something like that. Got a really good deal on it.
I will go with you on this, and I'm not going to say Crisis Core, because everybody knows it's a great game. Monster Hunter 2. I played it, and it's probably the most other than Crisis Core. It's probably the most game I played on this system. Because I didn't really want to say it before. Yeah. Because I didn't own it before. Right. But now I own it. It's a fun game. The Monster Hunter series is fun. If you like grindy games. I mean, it's fun for a while, and then if you get tired of grinding, you're not going to like it. But it is a fun game. Awesome. Yeah. It's really awesome that you said that, because I don't remember if I have a Monster Hunter game. I thought you did. Because I have Monster Hunter Ultimate, and Monster Hunter. I have Monster Hunter 2 and then Monster Hunter Ultimate, which is like you could get DLC. Oh yeah, like it was the expansion. Yeah, the expansion for that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you do either.
I don't know. We'll have to look for it. But what's left over there is just I took off some of my favorite games and kind of put them aside to take that picture.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it in there. So
I honestly think for me, because I've had opportunities to buy it. For me, it all depends on if it has the case or not. Sometimes I'll go for it if I have the case. There for a while, my printer was on the fritz. So
yep.
You know, like I have Persona 2, one of the ones for the one that came out for PSP, but it doesn't have the actual case. It has the
that one.
Yeah, it has the discrete plate thing, and it's got the UMD in there and everything. But I still cannot find a print for this.
I'm sure you. Really? You haven't?
Yes, I have looked all over the place and cannot find a good print. The website that I normally use doesn't have it on there, and everywhere else it's not this. Like the only other one that I found is a custom one that somebody made for this one is Innocent Sin, and I can't remember what the one on PS1's called, Eternal something. But it was like over in Japan they actually got a version that had it's a 2-pack that had like
no shit,
like both versions of Persona 2.
Huh.
And we only ever got this version for some reason. But
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, as far as Monster Hunter goes, it's like sometimes I'll go for it, sometimes I won't. It all depends on whether or not I have the capability to to print a label.
Yep.
All right, so is that it? Have we discussed everything that we kind of think we need to discuss?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the end of this episode, and basically we got to do some housekeeping because we actually have stuff to plug.
Yeah, we do.
Because we are on Twitch.
Yes.
We are on Facebook. We are on. I haven't checked YouTube. I mean, it's there, but I haven't checked it. I haven't done anything with it. This video that we're doing right now is gonna be like the first anything that I mess around with that. We are going to be on Twitch once we get our capture stuff.
Yeah, once I get my capture stuff, yes. I might actually do it on the computer. I found a way to do it around the computer. It'll only be Star Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
But for like console gaming,
not yet.
Well, I want to because I've went everything to HDMI, so I'd like to get the HDMI specifically for capturing on HDMI.
Right.
So
So I'm not going to talk about the Twitch thing yet, but we are. I want to say that all of our all this like the Instagram account, the Twitter account, the Facebook account are all Game Addicts Play.
Yes.
Basically. Too long of a thing to put podcast, so Game Addicts Play. It makes sense for for gameplay stuff like that.
It works great.
Hey, and then it's still the same letters.
You got lucky.
I did.
You got lucky.
I did get lucky.
When you told me that you got it, I was like, oh, I like that. That's good.
Game Addicts Play.
I can't believe you got it.
And with the Game Addicts podcast goes right along with that. So look at us, look us up on all those. With this episode starting with the new year, all those are going to be
So are we the Gap?
We are the Gap.
Okay, just making sure.
Hey.
Just wanted to throw you off a little bit.
You did throw me off a little bit. I was like right in the middle of my spiel, trying to send us home.
I know.
Because I actually don't know how much longer we have on the video to record.
Yeah, we'll see. It hasn't went off yet. It's still blinking. I can see the blinker from here.
Oh, hey, that's good because all I can see is like the green light.
Yep, it's blinking.
All right, good. That means we're all good to go. Game Addicts Play, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Soon to be also on Twitch and YouTube as well. Of course, you can find this podcast on iTunes, on the Podbean app, on Stitcher, on Google Play Music, and YouTube once we kind of figure that out.
Yes, and once I start getting off my ass and doing stuff on those, I will start putting out a little bit more content. I'm going to start doing some Star Citizen stuff for sure. I am going to start doing some of that. We are getting a green screen, so I am going to start doing Star Citizen stuff.
Awesome. Well,
so I will be able to put some stuff up.
Awesome. Well, that's great news to hear from you.
Yes.
This is hopefully going to be just as great of a year as last year was for us because now we're up on our own. We're living above the garage from the JIC roof. Yeah. That way we can sneak out and do our own stuff every once in a while. If you want to check out Journey into Comics, please go do so at Journey into Comics on all the Facebook, Journey into Comics, JIC Podcast on Twitter. That is the Journey into Comics podcast. It is on iTunes. It is on Podbean app, Stitcher, and Google Play Music. We weren't on Stitcher on that one, but
I know.
But when I submitted, Game Addicts, I also submitted JIC.
Right.
And that is the podcast where this podcast originated from. It is sort of an offshoot. When I would do solo cast, it would be video game, and that's kind of how this podcast was born. And that's pretty much all I got.
I don't have anything.
Thank you guys for checking out this episode. And until next week, I'm Brando, and he is
Player 2 Mike.
Player 2 Mike, and we will see you later.